welcome once again to Conscripted, episode 46. Ryan is randomly taking pictures of his camera?
No, I was taking pictures of something past my camera.
Ah, okay. That makes a lot more sense. We rejoin the party on the... I once again don't have the calendar up. But I believe we are into Seothis, the first of Seothis. The start of the month of Seshat. All of you had actually kind of finished this day, so really we're into the evening of the first. And what happened the last few days?
Brought a bunch of item requests to our resident crafter.
You did indeed.
Started a religion / ended a religion, or somewhere in between.
A little bit of column A and a little bit of column B.
Yeah, finally kind of got some peace and quiet in Kazaram. It's been a, I guess Chrysaism, you kind of have total peace, but like it's fake and it takes tolls on you. This is more like, probably feels really natural just being in a normal town again, I'd imagine.
Mm-hmm.
There's some politics shenanigans going down. Did we ever get the explanation for why the elections have been delayed?
They've been losing candidates repeatedly.
Oh, okay, yeah, I got you.
Hold on, I need to check on the can. What the fuck is going on? Sorry about that. Carry on. Kazaram elections being off due to candidates dropping out of the race.
Yep. Yeah.
I approved all the current candidates. None of them are evil magic users.
Nope.
None of them are half orcs.
That's what you meant.
There is about 12 days of items at full rate slated for Sphinx. Not including any potential new items that Sphinx is adding to the list.
Those will take like a month, Steve.
I didn't.
Pierre, are you enjoying the new scenery compared to the old town? You ready to settle in? Looks like we might be here for a while.
I've got things pretty well set up here.
Are you going to go off on one of your secret missions again, or are you sticking around?
I'm content
Where did you
here.
get off to?
There were friends that I had in town that I couldn't avoid seeing.
You couldn't avoid seeing.
Yes.
You know, as you do with friends.
Yeah, he clearly doesn't mean friends per se here.
I just wanted, I can piece together he's in the shady line of work and he's clearly doing things outside of our knowledge. Or
no, you cannot piece together that he's in a shady line of work because that's not true.
Okay.
You can't piece together things which are not factual.
Well, I mean, I can assume that.
You could assume anything you
into
want.
doing things.
I mean, he's working for us. We do some pretty shady shit on occasion.
That is true. You guys did just randomly kill off demigods for no reason.
You may notice I'm no longer wearing my amulet.
That's good enough reason.
I am no longer apprenticing for Heracles, so...
Well, you're growing up. It's just too bad mommy needs you back home so much.
Excuse me, Pierre.
What?
It's a little...
I've had to get a little more socially aggressive with you. You're just not getting it at times.
I think I've made an effort to converse with you where no one else does, and now I'm thinking it's a waste of time.
You make this effort, but really, what's your goal? I imagine you're probably, I don't know, trying to convince me I should buy a toaster from you or something.
What? I'm not selling anything, Pierre. I think I'm paying your salary. You think I need to sell you things?
What you pay me is, I guess you could call a salary. I don't know
What are you
why
trying
I'm
to say, you
turning
want a
Austrian
raise?
here again, but
What are you saying? You're not getting enough money, Pierre? Is that what you're telling me?
I put myself in a lot of danger for all of you, and it just, if this is what you think I'm worth, then this is what you think I'm worth. One way or another.
What are you worth, Pierre?
It's not my place to say. That is the market's place to say.
Well, how about
Giving
this?
Pierre a lot of hazard pay.
If you are willing to, I feel like you're not being forthcoming with your extracurricular activities, and I am in need of someone, perhaps of your services outside of
Not no.
party.
Not fuck no. Get the fuck out of my face, no. I know when people come to me with that kind of question. I am not interested in whatever services you're looking for. I drive a cart for a team of people who will eventually do the right thing by this world. That's what I'm here for. And to occasionally get to see a Pegasus, so long as someone doesn't try to kill it along the way.
All right, Pierre, you've made your intentions pretty clear. I guess we'll go back to our usual pleasantries, and Arvos will walk off.
How do you get him to do that?
It's quite easy when you're getting tired of someone. I can't stand riding with him anymore. Everything is always him trying to talk to me, and I knew there was an end goal, and I got him to prove it.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who's concerned about that.
Look, I don't think he's not going to be helpful to all of you. I think actually he is probably a great benefit to all of you. But at the end of the day, I don't trust him. I don't trust him not to have his own self-interests at heart. If the chips were down, I think putting your faith on him is a bad idea. But so long as you can keep your chips high, he'll stick around, leeching off of them until inevitably he makes the wrong move, and I guess now Maldronicus pays for it?
That's what it seems like.
Well, I guess none of you actually know that.
Pierre was outside when you were having the conversation with Maldronicus.
Pierre would know, yeah. If Pierre was aware and insinuated to me, I would want it to be very clear to him that I don't want him sharing that with anyone else in the party.
This is the most he'll say about it. But there's already like the insinuation that your life is like linked to Aravos's anyway, to the military. If he fucks up too bad, the military is going to put you in a shitty situation. So that could just as easily be what he's inferring.
I think there is a promise of great rewards in these endeavors we've been on. We've already found some. I think that will keep the salamander focused on us, since Daddy didn't give him any money.
He seems uninterested in taking money from the family.
Right, which means he has to take it somewhere. Boy's got a prone appetite. Those salamanders wanted to consume all her size, I swear. And now they want to consume every other city. God, I'm glad to be out of his eyes. Why did I want to go back there in the first place? What's good about that city?
Basically nothing, unless you enjoy being a worthless... I don't even want to get into it.
Yeah, I suppose it wasn't the greatest trip back. Speaking of which, Pierre, I feel like I owe you an apology. It's, what happened to you was my fault. I'm sorry, but I hope I have fixed it. For you, at least.
What happened to us was no one's fault, but ultimately my own in the past. What has been done, and all has been resolved okay. You owe me no apologies. I am glad to be of service to all of you. Can I get his voice?
Yes, I know you say that, Pierre, but it's, if something should happen, that I want to know if it really came to it, if your life was in danger and you needed to be able to disappear. How much would that cost?
What I have been a part of, there is no disappearing from.
And you can't even speculate on a number what it might cost.
When I am dead, I will disappear. Until then, I will try to do what I can to avoid the places where I know there is danger. And when I cannot, I will make sure I let you know ahead of time from now forward.
Well, in case it comes to it, I want you to be able to finagle if it needs to be, because it appears that we were in hotter water than I knew. But I would slide him 50 platinum pieces, and I would tell him this is for emergencies. If you need to buy someone off or get out of somewhere, I will know what happened. You don't need to find me in person.
Very well. Thank you very much. All right. So, all of you have quite a bit of time here. But what I am interested in is a couple people did not get back to me on other items they might want. I think at present we have a Defiant Enchantment 2 breastplate. And I had a list, and then my stupid machine restarted on me and ate it.
I know Tom put down that he wanted
The
something on a bow, right?
Adaptive on a bow, and Tom's
And my
other thing
helmet.
was his, yeah, the Jingasa.
So for spells storing on my armor.
Yep, that was the other thing. Thank you. I knew there was 4. I couldn't find the 4th one, but I was just, like, failing to flip through this properly. Does anybody else have other stuff they want Spinks to work on? Or does Spinks have anything that she wants to work on?
There is something that I want to talk to Mel about when I get the chance.
Okay, so I think when Mal comes in to give you his list, I think that's probably a good time to exchange words with Maldronicus.
Hello, Sphinx, how are you? Sleeping well, I hope, since we're out of that
Step to the truck, I think.
god shithole of a city. Mal
Yeah.
seems really passive aggressive about something about Poseidon.
Definitely sleeping better.
Good. How are your projects? I hope we're not overwhelming you.
I think I'm getting used to it.
Okay, good. Well, if you ever need help with anything, you can always ask me.
There is one thing I wanted to speak to you about.
Speak freely.
I've learned how to make something that I think might be helpful, but I'm not sure if we have the time or money for it.
You make many things that are helpful, Sphinx. I think all the things you made are helpful, but can you be more specific?
I think I figured out how to make golems.
The thing that nearly murdered us. You want to make more of those.
Ones that we can control.
Control is a scary concept, Sixlar. You understand this. Control is only you think you're in control, and then some giant tangly thing comes into your mind and tries to eat your soul. Or you hypothetically sell your soul in some terrible legal agreement. You don't really know who's in control of anything, do you, Sphinx? So do you really think you can control this? If you do, I trust your judgment. I have some gold that I could help you with, but the party fund is very shallow at the moment. We just distributed. How much more do you need?
Depends on how big you want it. Or we want it, I suppose.
Well, give me some ballpark numbers. I have
Around...
about 250 platinum left after everything that I've spent. And Pierre's payment.
So definitely not the big one, then. The big one needs around 6,000 more.
So 6,000 more. I was like, we could certainly afford 6,000. Jesus, 6,000 more. What base price are we talking about here, Sphinx?
I measured it out to be around 17,000 gold.
Goodness. Well, I can't help you with that. I don't. Alas, do not have much. I've kind of given away too many things at this point. If we can potentially find someone who is interested in this, these relics we found, they might fetch a pretty penny. I know many collectors of these things. They will pay a lot, but it will probably take me time to find someone ecstatic enough to pay the full price. So.
Well, I've got time. I gotta work on the other projects people have been giving me.
Yes, that is true. Speaking of which, did you identify that circlet yet?
Have I gotten the chance to?
You could probably do that. Go ahead and give me a spellcraft check. You need to do that on that and potentially the boots. Oh yeah. That was the one from the Necromancer, right?
Correct.
1 sec. Let me bring back up his sheet here.
50 platinum for Pierre's escape fund.
And that was a Headband of Intellect 4. I guess actually it's Headband of Intellect 2 technically, but it infers a +4. And then give me one for the boots as well. The boots that Ra has are Boots of Flawless Resolve.
That doesn't sound right. They're just insight boots, Sphinx. You're looking at them wrong.
Boots of Flawless Resolve do infer an insight bonus to AC. So you're not entirely wrong.
Sphinx, I'll never understand how you can see these things. I study harder than you do, and you just do it so naturally, damn it. Well...
Sorry?
I will spend some time in town trying to see if I can find someone that will pay full price for these relics. If I can, perhaps that will get us enough that you could start your golden fund. If not, it may have to wait until after our business in the north is conducted. Is that agreeable?
Alright. I'll come talk to you about it once I finish up the rest of it and see how your progress is going, or if you...
Perfect. If you don't mind, this headband is vastly useful to me. Could I potentially use this one and you can have my old one?
Sure.
Alright.
My old headband of +2.
Sphinx, you didn't have a headband already, right? Nope, you did not.
Are you there, Michelle, or are you dropped?
Yep, she crashed. I'm going to update this for her, though, while I'm in here. Yep, all good there.
What?
I've added the headband. I'm adding the headband. It looks like you've crashed. Oh, you're back.
I could hear you guys the whole time.
Oh, we could not hear any of you, so... But yeah, you've got a Headband of Intellect. I added it to your sheet, and added it to your buff category. You also, with that, can at some point pick out... Actually, Mal, what did you set the skill... No, you choose... When a new person puts it on, the skill is chosen at that point, or is it chosen... Hold on, I need to double check this.
I think it's technically when it's crafted, but I also feel like Sphinx could probably reorient stuff pretty easily at this point, if she wanted to.
Damn it. I just... in the wrong place.
She has craft wonders item anyways.
Is it not called a headband of intellect? It's something of that. What the something mind? Headband of vast intellect. That's what it is. And it's still not coming up that way. That's so fucking dumb. I hate when the search doesn't do the basic shit. I got it. I'm getting there. Yeah, the skills are chosen when the headband is created. So for that, then, it would have been to spellcraft, which wouldn't really do much in this case. Or no, hold on. Let me look at his sheet real quick. I think I've got that wrong. I don't think it was spellcraft, because it's different skills is what he would have chosen.
Yeah, I believe I have it in my perception, since I want it every point in perception, every level anyways, so I figured that was the cleanest.
Oh, right, this was yours. So yeah, yours would have been yeah, so go ahead and put a number of ranks in your perception equal to your level.
Needs them too.
And then Mal, the one that you are putting on, give me 1 sec, let me get to this section.
Wait, you mean I might actually be able to see it?
They are knowledge, religion, and bluff.
Can I have Sphinx try and realign those?
I don't think there's actually a way to realign them without special types of magic.
I mean, I really don't want bluff. It's not a skill
I mean, you got a headband of intellect +4 for 0 cost.
Okay. Guess I just won't use it.
You won't use the bluff, or you won't use the headband?
I won't. I just won't use the bluff.
Okay.
I kind of like that, very negative. If he ever is forced to lie, it's very bad. Can I put it on and not get the benefit of the bluff?
No, you automatically get the ranks by putting on the headband.
I now know more about religion than even Whitney does. I know everything.
All right.
Well, if you need to know more, I know a guy for that.
Wrong game.
Oh, my bad.
All right, so during this time that Sphinx is going to be working on things, well, first of all, sorry, Sphinx, are you going to rush the crafting of these, or are you going to craft them at normal pace?
I think. How long does it take to craft them at normal pace?
12 days is what you're looking at.
I think unless, we have any reason to rush, that I just do it at normal speed.
Okay. So let me take a look at these items. I think only one of them, but your bonus is crazy high.
Subtracted cost for mine yet, so if you can verify how much, I'll subtract it right now.
Well, first of all, you pay half.
Yeah.
And then you reduce it by 10%.
Okay, so
Okay, so I think all of these should be successful. I don't really think it's possible for Sphinx to fail. Unless she's doing something crazy high. Ooh, that actually... No, not at normal rate. That's fine. That's fine. And... that's fine. All right. So, is there anything during these 12 days that you guys specifically were going to do? Or look around for, or, I don't know.
I'd want to see if I can find a buyer for these relics. If not, I'll just take note of like where they advise someone might want to buy them.
You will actually find it is very easy to unload these relics here. In fact, people will buy them in Kazarum for like above what the market would, what you even, sorry, somebody in the party does have appraise, right? Or does nobody have appraise?
I mean, I'm very intelligent. It's not a trained skill. I can make a check.
Okay. You guys had...
I do not have to know.
I mean, I think you're thinking of Jack when he was in the party. He had appraise, so
yeah, I think that is it.
Because he was definitely appraised and stuff.
So yeah, you would know that these will all here sell about 10% over market value, or over cost, rather, or over their listed value.
And that's for all these ancient things.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So that would be. Okay, so 10% off, like the raw value of them. Not
10% above the full value of them.
Okay. Is that enough? Shell needed 6,000 total, so now it gets 250. I think that's just enough. Yeah, that should be enough. Sphinx is enough crafting for all you plebs, so no one bitches about this. I'm gonna slap you in the face. Okay, yeah, that seems fair, and that gets us enough for Sphinx's golem project. So,
Okay.
I would accept those rates.
Cool. Just an FYI, Sphinx. Almost all of your crafting goes perfectly. You do notice though that like as you're working on as you're working with the adaptive bow, you're kind of like in a particularly like positive mood. You've been getting through this crafting. It's been going pretty well. And a bit of your like implicit nature kind of binds its way into the bow. We double check your character sheet. Tom, what is your alignment?
Caddick good.
Okay. You are going to find that, unfortunately, while you did make an adaptive bow, it has some issues with who can handle it. The good news, however, is that it did roll on the good side as opposed to the other alignment sides. So you know that, like, Aravos will not be able to properly handle this bow.
He's a bitch
Oh,
anyways.
thank
Probably
goodness.
couldn't pull the bowstring back.
I was so concerned about Aravos of all people.
But you know this because you feel kind of uncomfortable holding it. It feels like it's almost draining energy from you. So you like, but you've got your glove on, so it's not like, it's not doing as much to you. But you notice that like you can't pull back the string, and you should be able to in theory. But you know like you can see the magic is proper.
I sure hope this bow at least works for him.
But yeah, you can deliver the items, and Tom, for you, the adaptive bow will work just fine.
All right.
It requires a good aligned person to use it, to use the adaptive function.
So
Better not align them spot.
my math, that fetches 4,031 gold, and then now we'll add on the remaining. Is it exactly 6,000, Michelle?
Oh, she froze up again.
I want to search out and find someone that I can buy some divine scrolls from.
Certainly. You will absolutely be able to find somebody at the Church of Delanrian that can sell you some divine scrolls.
Oh, Lord. This one of all places. Cost-wise, they don't technically list Inquisitors on there. Would it just be like
You would buy it as a
cleric
cleric.
comp?
Yeah, you'd buy it as a cleric.
That's what I figured. I just wanted to check.
Michelle, Dan asked if it was exactly 6,000, but you froze up.
It's 5,538.
5,538.
Yep.
Is the amount you
Yeah.
need.
So, so Steve, for my bow, like, are you like adjusting the macro, or what would I do when I want to use it when I'm raging?
We'll just make it so that it takes whatever your strength is and applies it as normal. That actually makes it much easier to make sure it's programmed correctly. So, because adaptive, it doesn't matter what your strength becomes, right? It always treats it as that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was already a mighty composite longbow 4, and I wanted it for when I rage to get that damage too.
Yep. That shouldn't be a problem. All right, so then, Spinks, are you going to rush completion of this golem, and what golem are you building?
I'm going to make a glass golem. And I'm gonna ask Mel how much more. Is there a specific amount of time that we want to stay here?
I need to figure that out. While she was working on other projects, I wanted to have a meeting with Heracles.
Okay.
To sort of clarify that.
Yeah. Back again.
There's a lot of questions we have. I'm sorry that's...
I'm glad you're here. I've got some things for you.
Good. I have questions for you too, but...
Good. You start with your questions first.
Okay, well, okay, fine. I'll go first. Fine. So, it's been some time since we gave you this emerald. Have you been scrying further? And if you have you started to estimate the rate at which it spreads approximately? What time frame are we working on here before it reaches, hypothetically speaking, the Druid village?
We're still a good ways away from that. The fighting they've had has certainly managed to stem the tide, at least in a beneficial way to everyone. I'd say we don't have much worry about that happening, with probably even within the year at this rate.
Okay, good.
I should point out, though, that it is doing some damage to the shifters, though, so the longer we wait, the more of them end up falling. But I don't particularly think that's of really any benefit to anyone, so, or a detriment to anyone.
Is there any reason we should suspect that their mind abilities could influence, hypothetically, constructs?
I wouldn't see how.
I don't know.
Constructs are typically not bothered by these kinds of effects. Though I've
seen errant ones before.
True, but usually that is a malfunction of something within them. There's a targeting mechanism that is specifically produced when designing a golem, and it is possible that without the proper maintenance, these things might start to wear away. Arcane energy needs to be sort of kept in a stable place when things like this happen.
I see.
Who's talking about constructs?
You know my party. We're a bunch of scoundrels and chaotic individuals. So it is what it is.
It's that witch girl, isn't it?
It took you that long to guess.
Well, I think I have something for her then. I was having some trouble deciding on something, but I think I can be certain of what to give her now. Just hope she uses it properly. I assume then that's what you're asking about the delay with regard to trying to make sure there's time.
I compute everything very exactly, I think.
I could also give her some time. And take away some of your own, if you need it. Well, not all of my Not all of the work I've been doing recently has been successful. I have had one that has been. It is much easier to make time move faster than it is to make it move slower. However, it doesn't like it if it's not properly contained. I could offer her the services of one of my establishments, and within there she could work faster than she can outside. However, it does have some strange side effects. She would lose a few days of time. When she leaves the building, it would be a very jarring experience, and she would need time to adequately rest.
She's been through a lot lately, but she has. She promised to me she's been sleeping while working on these new projects, but you know her; she tends to not sometimes. I will double check to make sure she is well rested then before she uses these facilities. Kind of grown wary at this point of these infinite sleep cycles.
This is not for infinite sleep. This just simply makes her time in there move faster. She can rest there as normal, okay. And she will only need to rest half as long to get the same amount of sleep.
I see. Okay. I think she will probably accept you on that.
He will... Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was going to ask what other... It sounds like he was going to go on anyways.
Yep, so for the party, he first of all starts with you. Maldronicus, I believe that if I've properly been keeping an eye on what it is you're carrying with you, I know you've had some situations where you haven't exactly gotten the things that you've expected. And I'm sure you'll find a way to be disappointed with what I'm gifting you now. But I believe a man of your stature could always use a little more enhancement. And he will toss you a pale blue rhomboid ironstone. For Zeke, I have noticed that sometimes, being in that heavy monstrosity of plate mail, he is rather ineffective at getting to the front line quickly enough. To him, I'd like to provide these shoes of lightning leaping. These should allow him to get right to the front line and put out some palpable damage in the process. For Ra, I have noticed that her questioning isn't just simply a annoying side effect of her existence, but also seems to be an intrinsic part of what she does. And so for her, I have made sure I was capable of acquiring something that should enhance her abilities. A baldric that will increase her bane powers. May her questions be accurate and effective. Cassius is constantly suspecting everything of being everything it isn't. Perhaps with a little better information, things can work out better for him. And so to him, I found this bracelet amongst my stuff. It's supposed to help you with bargaining. And to my once protege, now whatever the fuck he's trying to do in town, I figure one of these at least has a title that will go along with his desires. This is a blessed book. It should help him on all of his travels. And, since as we all know, he cannot deal with problems head-on like a real man would, here's some boots to help him run away. A pair of boots of escape. I would say that this should be quite helpful to all of you. Instead of complaining about the gloves that I gave you right after leaving my establishment.
The glove slots is very valuable for us.
She literally didn't even have the ring on her finger yet, and you were complaining about the uselessness of the gloves. And then, I believe I overheard they were quite effective.
Well, yes, it did have to roll a very low d20 for it. No, you know what, let's not get into minutia here. Sometimes the dice speak in ways that I do not expect.
Sometimes the universe has bigger plans than even you know.
Okay, so I got Pale Blue Rhomboids, Here's the Lightning, Bane Baldric, Bracelets of Bargaining, Boots of Escape, and...
A Blessed Book.
Blessed Book. And the Blessed Book is for who?
For Aravos. The Blessed Book and the Boots of Escape are for Aravos.
Okay, so I got Mal, Zeke. These two are Erebos. So is there anything for Ra?
That was the Bane Baldric. The Bane Baldric is for Ra.
Yeah, Bane Baldric, because I do Bane stuff.
Oh, okay. Which one's for...
Oh,
Sphinx?
and for Sphinx. Right. Sorry, I didn't have the list for her. I didn't have something on the list for her, but since you bring up constructs, I think this will be of good use. And he tosses you what looks like an Iron Stone. But he says, make sure she puts this inside of the golem as she's producing it. And that she spends some time attuning herself to it. It will do more in line with what she wants, while still being able to make decisions on its own without the need for commands.
Okay.
This is in Ioun Memory Node 2.
It's used to absorb ghosts.
Ioun Memory.
Yep.
Type 2.
Type 2.
Gotcha. Okay. I question your motivations sometimes, reckless, but I will admit you are undoubtedly more useful than a lot of the allies we make.
I know.
Don't know what your long win condition is here, but perhaps...
You know my long win condition. Making sure that this thing does not ruin what I've built here.
Perhaps I appreciate that you are at least more aware than the Kruzaisan people. I tried to implicate this to them, and they seem to live on their little clouds.
Well, they believe they're impenetrable.
Oh, yes. But if this thing takes over this plane, us intelligent types will be the first that it devours.
And there will be nothing left to defend the rest of these ignoramus.
I agree. I have another person that I could ask for this, but this is a very peculiar request. Do you happen to collect specimens of outsider natives?
I have bits and pieces here and there.
I just need enough for spell components.
What specifically are you looking for?
There's a wide variety that could be useful. I'm trying to understand if there might be a natural enemy, as it comes to be that these appear to be chaotic outsiders. Is there any natural enemies of chaotic outsiders that might draw their attention if it was really pertinent?
Isn't everything an enemy of a chaotic outsider?
But more so than normal.
Well,
Specifically, like, I was reading about different entities, Asimar and whatnot. Some of them have very anti-aligned goals to these creatures. Would they react differently to those types? Target them, per se?
have you suddenly got into summoning?
No, I can't do that.
Looking to open gates, then?
No. Myself would be the target.
He pulls a feather out of his pocket. And what use would be something of a celestial nature to you? And you notice, like, as he spins it around in his finger, it flickers with little gold flecks.
I believe if we are to succeed at this, I will need a way to draw the attention of these creatures away from my more valuable allies. I think the only way that I can do that is if I trick these creatures into thinking I'm something I'm not. I'm not much of a role player, but with magic, perhaps I could accomplish it.
Are you going to consume it if I give it to you?
It would be a material component to the spell, yes.
I was afraid of such. If it is for greater things, then sometimes we must forsake our memories. And he will hand over the feather to you.
I don't need to know which. I don't actually want to know which, but is it one of Asimar, Aphorite, Duskwalker, Fetchling, Gonzi, Ifrit, Ariad, Shapti, Suli, Scythe, Tifling, or Undyne?
Those are all the smaller subtypes. You spoke of Celestial, so he was assuming you meant super type.
Oh, it has to be a native outsider.
Okay.
Does he have one of that type?
That being, as you clarify, he'll put the feather back away, and he'll think for a moment. Ifrit, you say?
But that's, I don't. You've observed more of these creatures than I have at this point. I'm just trying to find a way that I could draw their attention to myself.
Hold on. This is a rough circumstance. I could maybe get you an Ifrit, but I don't think that that's going to do what you're looking for. They are typically not in the realm you want. And I haven't seen the product of celestial insemination here in a long number of years. I don't even know if any of them still exist.
It's okay. Out of character, I'm going to ask somebody else now.
Okay.
But I would not want to mention that to Rafael.
Mm-hmm. He is going to point out, though, that he's certain there is one person who would know. But, I don't think you're ever going to run into him.
Ah, yes. Those types of people are very, very hard to find.
Indeed.
And I literally leave the meeting and go to the door.
Yep.
And go to Chris Eisen. But we can go to someone else.
Yep. All right.
I will distribute these things to the party before I go to Chris Eisen. So,
does anybody want to talk to Mal before he goes to Chris Eisen? Nope. Anybody got anything else they want to do in these coming days? Actually, Spinks, do you want to take advantage of the room that is being provided to you by Heracles? This would naturally cut production time down by 2 days, but it would require 2 days of full rest for you to recover.
Am I still working on the other stuff?
No, this would be after the other stuff is completed.
If it's after, then I wanted to check in with Mel first.
Okay. Yeah. So, Mal, you'll come back then with the items.
I do have something that I wanted to ask. Like, one extra thing I wanted to ask Sphinx if she could make, but I don't know if it's something she has the ability to, because it's a little bit more divine-oriented, and I just don't know how well her crafting is with divine things.
literally apparently an idiot and closed the tab. What was the item for Sphinx? It was some ion.
The Ion Memory Node 2.
Ion.
And what was mine called?
You got Shoes of Lightning Leaping.
They're all in the chat except for Sphinx's.
Okay.
All right. So Ra, you probably would have met up with Sphinx first then.
Yeah. So yeah, I would just come to you, Sphinx, and say, I'm not sure if this is something that's in your realm to make, as it's a little bit more divine oriented, but I've been looking into getting a pendant of knowledge for religion and was wondering if you would be able to make me one with my holy symbol Tisashak.
So it's something I'm able to make.
Ultimately, yes. It has a higher DC to produce because you don't have access to the spell itself. Oh no, actually, you could technically. So you could borrow the spell if you used Heracles's space in order to produce this.
I can see what I can do.
Thank you. It really means a lot to me right now.
Okay.
I had something I wanted to do, but I don't know if you
Yeah.
want to do that now. Or...
Let's go ahead and do that.
Aravos wants to look at the cost of opening up orphanages.
I don't think we have
one, or
I don't think we have time for that, and I don't think you have the money for that quite yet.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I don't think that any amount of preparation in the world could have prepared Steve for that.
Nope. But I get what he's doing. This is a common evil villain thing. Finance good operations and use them to teach people your religion at a young age.
Yeah, so I guess if that's like clearly an unrealistic thing.
Yeah, well, we can talk about that off stream, but
Okay.
there's definitely a lot that goes into doing something like this. So I am in no way trying to say let's not do this. I am instead saying I just can't see us being able to do this on stream.
Right, yeah. It was more Aravos looking into like what it takes to do these things. So
Mhm.
like if I get like I wanted to have another conversation with the Raven, more like throw this idea to him, but I don't know if he's gonna be annoyed if I'm just like bouncing ideas off him or something. So like
I mean, at some point, yeah, if you don't come to him with a solid idea, he's going to be like, come on, dude, I'm not going to come up with the ideas for you.
well, yeah, there's like something I want to know his like resources. Like if I eventually get enough money to like open an orphanage, does he have like someone he can put in place there to run it? Does he have like how much does it cost a salary for? You know what I mean? Like these are things I want to find out.
Right. We can go over that off stream, and then once we've got things settled, we can talk about that on stream as to what's happening with the operation.
Okay. So yeah, I guess just as flavor, Arvos is doing this research in the background. Of,
Okay.
like,
Yeah, suddenly you
costs and
become
stuff.
very interested in land costs here in Kazarum.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, Mal, you go head over to drop off Sphinx's item and let her know about the room that Heracles is offering.
It may solve all of your problems, Sphinx. You'll have more time to do what you need. Just be careful. And I give you the rest of the gold. The items fetched enough, I think, and I compensated the rest. I think it's important that once in a while, Sphinx, you do things for yourself. I know we ask a lot of you, but we really appreciate what you do for us. I need to go visit a friend, but do you have any questions for me? He said to put it inside of it or attune to it. It may take you some time to understand how it works, but it seems to be all there is to it. Perhaps it'll make sense once you try it.
I'll keep that in mind.
Okay. So Sphinx, are you going to be willing to use Heracles's space?
Sure.
Okay. So this will cut golem production time down to 16 days, including the pendant. That'll be 17 total, because we'll blend the half cost in to each one.
Did you acquire enough money for it?
Yes.
Okay.
That was what Dan was saying when he gave the
Yeah, I just
extra
hadn't
money over.
heard if it was like he'd gotten exactly enough, so I just wanted to make sure.
All right. So Mal, you then head down, I'm assuming, to the door to go back to Griseisen?
Yes, sir.
All right. You can head through the door. As you're heading to it, Pierre looks over at you. Where are you heading?
To go ask an old friend for a few more pieces of information. He may be the only one that can help me.
I hope he has what you're looking for.
I truthfully hope so too. I think the lives of some of our party members depend on it.
All right. You take the door and can exit back in your old friend's shop. Right in the closet. Right out of the closet, technically.
Go out the closet. I would just tie a chain or something around the closet just so no one wanders in while visiting. I derobe, put on like just a regular robe, and keep my things in the room that he kind of was letting us use. I'd go to right to the temple.
Okay. You head into the temple. You head to where you once did in the library, because I'm pretty sure I know where you're going. And there once more is the door.
I knock.
You need not knock.
I walk in.
Kandor has a book on a table in front of him. Abram is looking through a number of like scrolls in a small container behind him. You're back. Sooner than I expected? Much sooner than I expected. Were you successful? No, I don't think you've been successful. Things still feel wrong. Very wrong. Why are you here?
I have a number of questions for you.
The other group's not ready yet. They're still in class.
Look, I've been doing a lot of thinking, and I realized something that... Don't take this the wrong way, but you mentioned there is a lot of parties that have failed, and there's only one common factor between those parties. It's you.
I've made very many parties quite successful. In fact, I've been a part of 3 of them. And they've all been quite successful.
I see. Well,
there was that one other party that had some problems, but to be honest with you, I really blame Steve Sparrow in that situation. He's very, very much so a wild card. It caused a lot of problems. Plus, there was a whole thing with the chef in a bottle, and the party had reset like 3 times. Do you realize how hard it is when a party has reset 3 times? You can't expect people to be on the same team when they can't even keep themselves together.
I suppose so, but I feel like there were so many details left out from your
That version of me was very, very short as well. I probably could have been taller.
Well, the way you relay information, if this is the way you relay information to all your confidants, I could see why they end up dead, because they get very confused.
Very few of my confidants end up dead. In fact, one of them your friend is searching for right now and will likely not find. So perhaps we should think twice about who we're saying kills more confidants. I'm sorry, where's Aravos?
I can't keep track of that, man. But, sorry, we got off track.
We did. You made accusations coming into my establishment to ask me something of some valid importance.
I did not mean to offend you. I just merely meant that with much gravity, I need you to
Be very specific and focus very much. I know that you're not yourself, but I need to know these details as specifically as I can. You mentioned a lot of things about these creatures, and one of the things of note was that you mentioned they are outsiders of the chaotic abyssal plains. I need to know if there are any natives that resemble the enemies of these creatures, and if you might have a specimen from one of them.
A specimen, you say? So you just come in here and hope and pray that I happen to be sitting on some kind of ASMR gold mine? Is that it?
In that little bag or book of yours.
Well, why don't we take a short break and maybe I'll have an answer for you.
We'll get more whiskey for this conversation anyways.
We'll be back shortly.